Welcome to the Spiritual Connection Podcast. I am your host, Jill. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about your energy, their energy, manifesting, mindset, creating high vibrational healing for you, body work, the importance of massage and self-care, and much, much more. Let's get rolling. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Om Shanti Healing Spiritual Connection. I would love to welcome back Cara Faith. She is a friend and local healer in our community. Her company is called the Mystic Moon Channeler. She is an amazing, sensitive soul. And today we're going to talk about the moon cycles and what they mean and how they can change people's mood, energy, right? And all the fun things that come along with that. So thank you, Cara, for joining us. Welcome.
Hello. Oh, I'm so excited to be back. Thanks so much for playing with me with this.
Thank you for being here. So there is a new moon coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Let's start with the new moon.
So the new moon is coming on Monday, May 26th, and it's in Gemini. So I am not an astrologer, but I'm just so fascinated by just how, the signs and where we are can just really impact us and just kind of give us permission to be where we are and just to also have a focused direction on what do I just need to be aware of right now? What do I need to ground into? And I think so many people just feel so alone, unfortunately. So if they're feeling a certain way and they think, quote unquote, they shouldn't be dealing with that and working with that. But then when they just kind of hear about nature and about what the goddess moon is doing, it gives you full permission of, oh, I am held, I am supported, I am on my path. And this is how I can really manifest with the moon. So I'll just say in general that, all new moons are, of course, about new beginnings. So it's about planting the seeds. And I'll just kind of back up and say, I think it's so important to, of course, blend the full moon with the new moon. So full moon was 2 weeks ago. So full moon, you can remember that with the F of full and with forgiveness. So when we go through full moons, just to kind of think of it as it's in its fullness, it's in so much brightness. It, of course, can impact people with their sleep, with their emotions. Just like with the ocean tides and the tides within us can get a little wobbly and emotional. And it's such a time of release and clearing out forgiveness and what no longer serves you. And ideally, we really want to be like as clear as water as we can. And that's just like a journey always. But with forgiveness, with full moon, it can be so much of there's like all these chunks, there's all this heaviness and blocks and that we don't even realize. So I love that the full moon, if we can see it in the sky, just reminds us, oh, let's shine light on this and ask my inner self and my inner genius, who am I ready to forgive right now? And just to kind of do a journal dump where you're not in your logic, you're just dumping that all out. And then a lot of times it's myself who comes forward. So, and I always say you never want to force forgiveness, not like I'm the spiritual person and I had this big trauma happen to me, so I need to forgive this person. It's let it be in the process and the unfolding, but it's essentially to forgive, just meaning you release and you create space and you free yourself. So when I do this like forgiveness dump on paper writing, it's a lot of times it's like I'm forgiving myself when I was in third grade and I did this, when I was in sixth grade and I said that, a few minutes ago and I held that on. And you're just clearing out and releasing. So then when the new moon comes, you have more of a clean slate. And then you can really plant your seeds. And I just think life is so much about intentions. Like it's not just happening to you, it's really just a reflection of your vibration and your intention. So I think so many of us just get so busy and we just plow through our days and also kind of become machines. But it's like, if you can just remember, like, when you see the full moon, and then 2 weeks after that, it's new moon time. And to drop down, be with yourself, listen, and see what is it that I'm wanting to create right now with the universe, with my guides, and with my higher self. So this new moon is Gemini, and I'm just going to read off. This is from Nancy Miller Ogren. I say, our fairy godmother. She's a wonderful astrologist here in town and intuitive. And so she wrote this book. So Gemini is so much about intellectual freedom and creative thought and communication and new information and expanded perceptions and living in the moment. So that's just kind of an example of, okay, it's in Gemini. So right now, how can I add in more creativity? I have even more support right now to be creative. So for instance, if it was in Capricorn new moon, that's more about like structure and work and organization. So then you might have more of an oomph and a support of, okay, I want to really clean out my closets or look at my finances and get that organized. So right now, Gemini is more about really expanding your vision and your potentials and really inviting creative thought to come in. So even if it's like, I don't know what that means and where to go with that, then that's where I think it's really fun. Like for me, I have this beautiful wooden bowl. So I think it's important to have your intentions contained. So how these type of things can be sacred. So the more we make things sacred, the more they're really just going to amplify, and just kind of be more potent, and that we're just going to take it as more medicine. So I have this beautiful bowl. So that means I love to touch it. I love to see it. For me, it's natural. So I love that. I put sand in it, and then I put crystals. It doesn't matter what kind of crystals, but I just put crystals in it. And then I have all these individual pieces of paper that have my new moon wishes. So it can be for the next month, new moon to new moon. It can be the next year. How far do you want to go with these wishes? So then I write them down and I just drop into my body and feel my soul and just see what she wants to say, and then fold them up and then put them in this bowl container. And I love to put a candle. I put different like goddess cards, and then the crystals like charge it. So it's all about, do I even believe in this? It's like, if I just think this is hogwash, it's like, well, might not be as powerful. But if I'm like, yeah, this is fun, I believe in these crystals, I believe in this sacredness, and I get to then surrender and put it on my altar and maybe look at it here and there. And I like to do that. And I just open them up and I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm done with that. I did manifest that. Or, oh, I forgot about that. Let's give that more attention, put that back in the bowl, and then see whenever it wants to manifest and how I can feed it. So I just think it's so fun and fantastic to work with the moon and just to have that connection with nature and be reminded of our oneness and try not to feel so lost and separate, because it grounds us. And grounding is vital to helping us manifest. Like the more calm we are, the more likely what we're wanting is going to find us. But if we're flying all over the place and kind of buzzed and ungrounded, it can take a little longer, and it's just kind of like it's just going to stand in its little peaceful place and we're just like chasing around it. So the moon is just a wonderful time of just to be like, oh my God, let's be like my ancestors and go outside, maybe bathe in the moon. And that has been proven so much like Ayurvedic wise of how it can help women with their menstrual cycles. Because we used to sleep under the stars and be bathed in the moonlight, and now we're buzzed out by electronics and da da da. So the moon can even help you with your menstrual cycles. And a lot of women are like, my moon now is my cycle is now psyched up with the moon, because of course the moon, we know, affects the ocean tides. Well, we're mainly water, and so it really can affect some women with their emotions, and a lot of times with our menstrual cycles. And just be reminded of that phenomenal beauty. Like, it's so incredible, and it just shows how powerful we are and also how little we are, like compared to the magnificence of the earth. but we're such a, droplet in her ocean.
Yeah. We are so sensitive and can find the balance or imbalance within the cycles of the moon for sure. And I love the intentional way that you set the tone for the new moon. There is power in writing it down. There is power in anchoring it in which you use your bowl with sand and putting it in a place where it can be seen and it could be felt as you're in the room, and really grounding into those intentions really do help to bring it into fruition. The writing of it down gets it out of your body and on paper, so it makes it more tangible in a sense.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
And then you can reflect back and look at it and see, maybe there's a few in there that you wrote down that you maybe forgot about and it happened anyway. Right. How cool would that be? Right. Because you set the intention for that to happen. And the moon isn't intense, like the kind of going back to the full moon. I know that I like to be outside more when the moon is full. I like to be in the dark, looking up at it and just kind of feel the feels inside my body of what shows up. And it tends to be a little more chaotic feeling in my energy and a little bit more turbulent inside, where there is stuff that kind of percolates, like a reflective energy of what have I been doing? Who have I been the past few weeks? And how is it making me feel? And how have I made other people feel? And it does give you an opportunity to really connect with that super high vibration and make some shifts for the new moon coming. It's like an energetic reset that we benefit from, at the turn of every month.
Yep. Yep.
It's a very cool way that nature and the energy of the universe has provided us, a reset button in a sense. If we acknowledge it, if we feel it and acknowledge it, right, and tune into it, it is kind of a moment where we're a reflective moment. And then what can I do better next month?
Oh, yes. It's so grounding. It's just like, I think a lot of people do, I'm just assuming, but just for me personally, it's like I'm so grateful for like the new year. It's like, this is like a ceremony and a celebration, and looking at who I was that year and who I want to step into the next year. So it's like we can do that kind of every month, just this renewal and this reflection and this remembering to drop in. Because especially like with forgiveness, so many people, when I present this to them, it's like, have you worked on forgiveness in a while? It's like, oh God, no. And especially with yourself is massive, and how that
Yes.
a huge vibration of abundance, that we can be doing all these strategies to improve our business and our wealth and ourself, and that's great. But then it's like, oh God, just to drop into forgiveness, how simple but scary that can be, and just to really face that. And I think the moon, I'm so grateful for her just to really beaming that and reminding us of, oh yeah, let's forgive myself and maybe some other people in my life who I'm really ready just to release that sting with.
Yeah.
And that's where like the fire element can come in, is then you get to burn the full moon release. And then the new moon, then of course I like to keep them in my little bowl and just let the crystals really charge them, and have that light. And it's just like, some people do collages. I don't know if you would want to do collages every month, but go for it. Just those visuals. I'm obsessed with collages, and I have for maybe 16 years or more, but it's just like, ooh, just allow the subconscious to pick different images and not be too like controlled by it. Of like, I don't know why I'm supposed to put in a picture of that green car, but then it's really just the green that wants to come through, the feelings embodied in that picture, and then just be wowed at how your soul and the universe really manifests with that. So it definitely needs that, responsibility from us of where am I going to put my little gears and my vibration of how to really help myself move on this path of magic, I like to call it, so you can do collages or do it for maybe every 6 months or the year, and then, do your little bowl with, specific new moon things, buy that. And that would be fun too, of just kind of looking at your images and then like, ooh, okay, now what do I want to write down specifically for this new moon? And then just let all those specifics unfold. So yeah, and like the writing down, like you said, it's just so many of us, it's just spinning in our minds. And that can be, somewhat effective, but then whoever came up with it, it's like the numbers they say of, then if you write it down, you're like 50 to 60% more likely to accomplish that and experience it. But then if you speak it out, then it's like 80 to 90% more likely to experience it. And that's why I'm just so adamant, like in my creative rituals for sensitive souls course, when we do that for the throat chakra, it's like now you're going to speak out your affirmations with a partner, be witnessed, be held, and then they validate it back to you. So to do that, like with new moon, it's like, what if you just do that 1 week out of the month with someone and you're just affirming your new moon prayers? Like, holy camole, you're so likely to feel it more and embody it and feel that energy run through from your heart to your throat chakra, and then have someone witness it back. And it's not just getting stuck in all these like drawers inside of you. You're really speaking it out and feeling it. And that's how we manifest. We have to feel it.
Yeah, you have to feel it as if it's already there, right?
Yep.
And I think the writing it down and then reading it repeatedly to yourself and to your person or whoever you feel safe doing that to is a beautiful way to really elevate that vibration, to bring
Mhm.
it into reality for yourself faster. And it
Yep.
is powerful because you're so tuned in, and it's just like so great how sensitive you are that you're a powerful manifester, and it manifesting is a real thing. It can bring you amazing things into
Yep.
your life, but there's the first step, I think, is to believe that it could be possible,
Yes.
right? You can't have this guarded, like, oh, whatever, I'll do it, but in the heart of your heart, it, you don't believe in it, in your
Mm-hmm.
low vibration, and you're blocking it, then
Mm-hmm.
nothing's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing, I think, is the openness to
Yep.
believe that something is going to shift for you for the better
Mm-hmm.
if you
Massive.
do if you do a ritualistic practice,
Mm-hmm.
and being open and high vibration to that, the excitement and just the open-mindedness and the curiosity of what could come of this. It is a fun thing.
Yep.
I've had some crazy weird stuff happen, in very sideways ways that have come into my life that have been just what I needed at the perfect time. And it was something that I had put out into the universe and asked for, and
Mm-hmm.
just stayed very positive and high vibration about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sense of urgency, anxiousness, demand, or anything like that. You just be happy and curious as I just wonder if this could happen and how it might show up,
Yep,
right?
exactly. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that in, of the power of wonder. Like, just because spirit is so playful, it's kind of like inner child energy. And that when we take things so seriously, and like Abraham Hicks said, the universe doesn't know the difference between a pearl and a castle that you're manifesting. It's just our energy with it, of like, oh yeah, I can totally manifest getting a pearl, by tomorrow. But to manifest getting a castle, oh, and then we just have all this attachment to it and anxiety to it. But it's just so much about our alignment. And, if you're wanting to manifesting something that feels a little stretchy to you, to not hold back and stop trying to, put that order out there because you're not in full 100 belief. But even if you're like 20%, talk it out, because when we talk it out, then you can feel in your body where there's tightness, and it gives you indications of where to breathe, where to, move that energy and where you are. And then it's like, ooh, okay, I need to say it a few more times and maybe march while I'm saying it, because that activates your root chakra, and that helps you really ground it. And then it's like, oh my God, now I did it a week later and I feel like 50%, more in belief. but it's like using that voice and using that visualization and using that witnessing maybe from someone else can really bring it, rev it up, because there's many things I'm like, oh yeah, right, can I really manifest that? But I just have to keep working on it and feeling it in my body and saying, yes, you're allowed to be in my body. And so that's huge. It's like, oh my God, can I really manifest a relationship that's that amazing? Can I manifest that amount of money in my business? Can I manifest that kind of vacation? And if it's like, ha ha ha, ha, maybe like 30%, then just visualize it. Use the full moon to release, and then use the new moon to bring in that visualization and to
Yes,
put
love
on music and just be like, oh, okay, I can have this in my body. It's safe for me to have this kind of relationship in my body. It's safe for me to have this number of income in my body, because it's all about your nervous system too. Like we really honestly can't just be positive affirmation people. Like that's only going to get you so far. So
we are
it's
human after all.
yeah, like it's about your nervous system, and your nervous system really wants to keep you safe, and it really wants to keep you comfortable with what you're used to. So the new moon especially really stretches you, and how to be like, how can I put new moon intentions that feel a little outside my comfort zone? Okay, what do I need to do to really help that? Oh, work on my nervous system, telling it's safe to hold this, to be in this container that feels just a little outside, not too far outside. So if
Yeah.
it's like, I would love to go to California. Okay, that feels a little stretchy, but I feel I can do that. I would love to go to Africa. Oh, it's like, oh no, I can't even imagine that. But I would love to do that. It's like, now just focus on California, you know, and just how to feel that and tell your body and visualize it and visualize
Right.
the path that you want.
Baby
And
steps, right?
baby
If
steps.
you're new at it, baby steps, and in those visions of the new moon ideas and the new, maybe this step forward into something uncomfortable, but you really want it. And it's seems like the logical next step, maybe in a career move or your monthly goals, right? To reach for that time period, to get comfortable with the discomfort. Like maybe you want to have a $10,000 month, right? And you're like, oh my God, that seems like so much money. But
Yeah.
if I get my ducks in a row and I really like push every day and reach these daily goals
Mhm.
at the end of the month, that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
And instead of having this inner disbelief, kind of be open to it showing up. And
Mhm.
maybe you won't hit 10, but maybe you'll hit 8,
Yep. And how to
and
still celebrate
then you
that.
can
Oh
try
my
the next
God.
month, right? And get
Yeah.
closer and closer and closer, but celebrate those wins along the way.
Yeah, because I can definitely get stuck in that. It's like being an entrepreneur and having different income goals for myself. And then I'm like, oh man, I was like $40 away from that. And it's like, oh my God, Cara, you're basically there. Like just really celebrate yourself. And I
Celebrate
love
it.
adding
Hmm.
that little nugget of, for me, it's like I have different income goals every month. And so then it's like, okay, visualize, what am I going to buy for myself to celebrate that I did that? So it's like a little thing for me is like I do perfume, like different smells that I love. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to smell like that when I reach that. So then every day for however long that perfume lasts, I get to be reminded I did that, and I'm adding that to the jar of like, you did this, Cara, you did this, be so proud of yourself. So just to kind of add that in there too, if you're doing new moon intentions, and then if it's like one in particular, or hell, all of them, what am I going if you like to buy things, whatever, how am I going to treat myself? Or I'm going to give the day off? Am I going to give myself an hour to be with my cat? Am I going to go invite a girlfriend out? Or I'm going to go buy myself a book. Like, what is it? But just to have you in that pause, in that moment of celebration. So we're not just like plowing through and being like, what's next? Because that is way too common.
Do you find yourself sometimes as an entrepreneur struggling with the celebration part? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's like, oh, then I get honed in on like, oh no, but this isn't happening and I really wanted this, right? And it's like, oh my God, open it up. And that's where for me, I just love like having my besties and like my partner, and she's just like, look at what you're doing. Like this is phenomenal. And so they help open it up And especially if they're not entrepreneurs and they're like, I can't believe you're doing that all by yourself. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Thanks. Like, this little inner child self, teenage self, young adult self, 2 years ago self, like she's probably so wowed at who I am now. And I'm just like now used to it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is my norm. Just keep going and now I'll go for the better. And it's like, no, Cara, like this is what I do with my clients. Like I'm just all about celebration and love. And so yeah, I love gifting myself things and
Yeah,
like going out, and having cocktails and celebrating it.
absolutely. I love the cocktails. So when you feel those moments of stuckness,
Hmm.
where do you feel it in your body?
Probably my gut. Yeah, probably my gut. Maybe my hips. And then that's when I'm obsessed with dance and I don't do it enough. But it's like that's where just for me, movement, journaling, tapping, sounds really helps me move energy that's
Mhm.
stuck.
Sound is so powerful. So do you, with in regard to sound, you love dancing and music, do you use do you use singing bowls or anything else to kind of elevate certain vibrations for you?
So that'd be fun. We only have a little one, but I haven't done it much either, and I've been wanting to, is drumming. So I love to drum it on out. I have drumsticks and a bucket. That's my favorite. And then I have a djembe, but it's kind of little, but my favorite is my drumsticks and a bucket. But just sounds of like I just make tones, like if I'm driving and I'm feeling irritated and frustrated and disappointed and whatever, then I might start with um like whatever chakra sound wants to come through. Like Lam is the root chakra, and that's where I can get, stuck energy, and that's the foundation of safety and security. A lot of times, like Om just feels really good just to let that deep tone come through. And sometimes it's just like weird noises. I mean, it's just far out kind of scary noises that that I just laugh at myself after I'm making them. But I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much better. That just popped all that stuck energy.
Yeah. It's a
What about
gift
you?
that you are so sensitive to all
Yeah.
of it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Such a
And
superpower.
you have great ways to protect yourself too from all of your sensitivities.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah. Oh, I would just be mush.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. It can
you know,
get rough sometimes. So
yeah.
I feel it in my lower back and hip,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
when
yeah.
my right hip specifically when things get stuck
Hmm.
and I need to move through it. And I love to go on walks with the dogs,
Hmm.
and that really helps clear my head.
Hmm.
I love to go at night when the moon is out.
Wow.
And it just gives me a lot of grounding, to help just kind of clear, process my head for the day, for the week, whatever,
Hmm.
and kind of think. It helps me to think
Oh.
about where my priorities need to be, where my head should be, if it's kind of going sideways a little bit, or if I'm feeling like I'm kind of spiraling into a non productive space in my head,
Hmm.
just kind of getting clear on where I need to be with all that. The
Hmm.
fortunately live near water,
Oh,
so I go down to the beach and
oh,
sit. I love on full moon nights to just without the dogs go down there and just sit and
wow.
just stare at the moon and just process my brain and what's inside of it and kind of clear out everything out that's not serving me. And there's a lot of forgiveness in there, too, of myself
Yeah.
in the way that I talk to myself.
Hmm.
I think we are our own worst critics when it
Yeah.
comes to our lives. Like other people perceive us as very different
Hmm.
than how we perceive ourselves, don't you think?
Yeah. It's
We're
just that
harder on ourselves than anybody else
enough.
is.
Yeah. It's that sad thread of not enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to kind of sit and put things in perspective,
Hmm.
and the moon definitely helps kind of get clear on all of that.
Yeah, I love your ritual. That's so beautiful. That's like ideal for me. Oh, I miss living at the ocean. I would go to the water at the ocean with the full moon a lot. And so I love that you live near water and you get to do that. That's so great.
Yeah, there's something very special down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sitting by the water. Yeah, just watching the moon reflect, and hearing the sounds around me, you know. Every
It's,
once in a while, if I get real lucky, an owl will fly by. There's a pair of them that live down by the lake.
oh my gosh, what?
You
Oh
got
my,
to watch for them though, because they don't make any sound when they fly.
that's right.
Like if you can catch them, it's pretty special.
Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
it's pretty cool. Cool.
Oh, I'm so happy you get to experience that.
Yeah. I feel very blessed to be close to that.
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk about all the different cycles of the moon?
Oh,
Do
gosh.
you want to do you want to dabble in
I don't know if I even know that. What's
crescent moon or half moon or what all that means to you?
You know what? Unfortunately, so I usually go by this list that I have. So Yasmin Bolin, she's amazing. She's another astrologist and she has a podcast. And so a few years ago, I wrote that down in all the different phases and what the focus is. And I haven't looked at it in a while, so I honestly don't know off the top of my head. So I'm so focused on like full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon. But it is so beautiful of that there are like four or five other, total. And there's these books out there also I've been wanting to get, is it kind of lays out how to like structure your life according to the moon cycle. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like this is when I'm social. This is when I launch my business. This is when this is when I have my period, and maybe that's with the full moon. And so this is when I'm less social. This is when I get to really cocoon. And so that it's like I know that exists out there, but I wish I knew more at the top of my head. And I'm sorry, um, but it's also with that of to honor that of if, especially if you have your menstrual cycle during full moon, and if you feel like for this week it's so okay and safe and I have full permission to kind of cocoon up and just be creative. Maybe be creative, be nurturing, really be in that feminine energy. And then it's usually like day 7 to like 16 of our cycle, we have so much more energy and strength. So then
It
we're
is
kind of
so true. Like after it's over with,
yeah.
that's when I have the most energy, the most positive attitude. I
Mhm.
feel the sexiest.
Wow, that's
I my waistline feels smaller,
uh-huh.
and I guess because we're not
Yeah.
bloated anymore, right? From the
Uh,
week prior. But
yeah.
yeah, it's just quite amazing. And our hormones shift,
Yeah.
to get us ready for love, right? And
Mhm.
reproduction. So it's like our cycle's over, no baby happened, right? So our
Oh,
body's hitting that reset to prepare us to, fertilize, and
mhm.
have a baby the next time around. So we
Yeah.
have this time after our cycle's over where we're extra horny, our partners look extra sexy, we're
All
feeling
right.
pretty good, we're kind of strutting around and we have a different energy about us because we are putting out, right, that messaging subconsciously
Oh,
that
there.
we are ready for love to
Yeah.
potentially make a baby,
Yeah.
and that's why we feel so great that week
Uh-huh.
after.
Right. Yeah,
Isn't that
beautiful.
cool?
I know you
It's
can
just
help.
so amazing that our bodies do that. Like
No.
that we have these cycles that we're constantly going through and we're cycle and then we do it again and then we do it again and do it again. And there's all these different feelings emotionally, mentally in our bodies that we go through every month
Hmm.
over
Yes.
and over and over again.
Yes. Yes, and
It's
it helps
just,
us
it's
slow down.
fascinating to me.
I know, and it's so fantastic. It like helps us slow down because I think a lot of us can just feel like we're just getting like run over, like life, because it's like time essentially is going like 10 times faster than what we were used to, especially in the 90s. It's like it just shows how
Oh,
our,
isn't that the truth?
yeah, how our maybe 20 times, but like how our consciousness is awakening on this planet. And even though there's feels like there's even more darkness arising, but that's to help the consciousness go higher. But anyways, but it's like, yeah, that with the moon and understanding this and acknowledging it and taking time to really drop in and feel, and like what you're saying with day 7 to 16 and feeling so much stronger and horny and all that, and about production, like, fertility, that it then like slows us down and not feel like we're just getting train wrecked every month and that every month is the same. It's like, oh yeah, let me drop in and feel this week. How can I really manifest with the moon right now? How can I just think, life is so much about alignment. So it's like we all have our different ways to align with wherever we are and whatever we're wanting. But the moon is like the same for everyone. So it's like, how can I align with that kind of collective energy and collective holding of it and container and then make it my own, whatever I need to take from it. But it's just fun, even like with fitness, if you like to work out, it's like, okay, don't be hard on yourself if during your cycle, and especially if you have it on full moon time, you can be more slow, you can be more yin, you can be more just like stretchy and whatever you want. And then if it feels correct to you day 7 to 16 in a sense, then it's like, okay, now I'm gonna like beef it up and I have more energy, and then I can like bring it back down again, just do those cycles, not always do like high intensity exercise, for instance. Like I'm not a believer in that. So, and especially in premenopause and menopause, like that can really wreck your hormones. So it's just how to sync with that with your cycle, how to sync with that with the moon. Then it's balance, balance, balance. And it's really going back also into kind of just our ancestors and how they were so much more blended with the moon, but we're so programmed now, just all about the buzz and all about online. And it's like, yeah, this is just a great way. We're online right now sharing about it, but we're talking about nature. And so it's like how to have that blend and remembering of you can
Yeah.
go and you kind of be somewhat in the buzz, but like stop, drop in, go look at the moon or just journal about it, light a candle, maybe go by water to be in that moon element and just see how your life can be even more grand. It's like, what if that's just the main change you do for the rest of this year? Is you
Yeah.
notice the moon more. Whoa, you will probably have more magic and more grounding. How about that?
Yeah, that's really great advice. I'd like that because we do have a tendency to just push, 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 push.
Yeah.
And our bodies send clear messages. Slow down,
Mhm.
hydrate. You need to go to bed early tonight. You know, it does send you these clear messages, and just being more attuned to that and honoring it and not attaching any shame or guilt to it, or, if your body wants to rest, honor that and give it the rest that it needs. Every woman knows at what time in their month that their body needs more rest,
Mhm.
and to just be really loving around that, and taking a day. Maybe you work full time, you can't do it till the weekend or whatever. Taking the weekend to just rest and not push constantly. As entrepreneurs, we have the benefit of taking a day off if we want that,
Mhm. Yep.
which is a beautiful thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like, please do it sooner than later. It's like, no, I can keep going a little bit more. I can keep going a little bit more, and then you're
Hey,
sick
and
or
then your
whatever.
brain's like,
Just don't. Just take
stop,
it. Try and
stop
take it.
doing this to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take it before the fry, the burnout and the fritz. Yeah, it's a great reminder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So you wanted to do a tarot reading on me. What is that going to look like?
So I can do actually a chakra reading. However, I do happen to have, I don't do tarot readings. I just don't really know how to, I just kind of do oracle.
Okay.
But I do happen to have the Mythical Goddess Tarot deck by Catherine Skaggs, who's a local artist and visionary intuitive. But how I use these is I just let them fall. Like I just a lot of times, if I do full moon readings on Facebook or new moon readings, I just do them for like 10 minutes and I just tune in and just see what chakras want to pop forward to give you information of where you are and where you're wanting to just really align with right now. And then towards the end of that, then I just pull cards or I just let them fall and they kind of reflect the message to that.
Okay.
So
That sounds fabulous.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, before I start, can I read to you 3 intentions that Nancy in her book for the Gemini new moon
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
invited us to drop into? So, first one is I am able to access expanded ideas through my experience that help me move forward. Second one, I recognize the creativity of my conscious thoughts and I will act on that creatively. Third, I know that living in the now helps create energetic flow in my life. I love that. I know that living in the now helps create energetic flow in my life. And then for me, and I'm sure for you too, it's like that just gives me a visual. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, I can
Presence.
drop in right now and see that water flowing.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to not use your past, and what's happened in your past to dictate who you're going to be in the future.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're always evolving. Our life is an evolution, even though it's a short time that we're here.
Mhm.
If we do it right, we're growing all the
Mhm.
time. We're
Mhm.
improving ourselves. We're learning and not staying stuck in one spot for too long. So that's a beautiful message.
Yeah, I just love the affirmation of and the projection of it of I'm ready to be wowed. I'm ready to be wowed
Yes.
who I am. So it's like we can align with our higher self and feel that higher self and get to know them. And that's so helpful. And that's what I love helping my people do. But then it's also that like surrender and just being like, and I'm just in that curiosity. I'm so open and ready to be wowed at who I am and just show me, show me, show me how I'm just can be so much bigger and brighter and powerful than I thought possible.
Yeah. And when you're in that state of I want to be wowed, it's really beneficial just to stay excited and curious as to how that's going to show up, because it
Yeah.
can show up in very mysterious and sometimes humorous ways, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
You're like, holy moly, that came into fruition in a very sideways, strange but funny way. I'll take it. It wowed me.
Yes, it's just like we would thought we would never move back to Fort Collins. We would always stay at the ocean. We'd always stay in our little mystical farm town. And then when Spirit told me in 2021, after my big healing, that we were supposed to come back down south and stop in Fort Collins and see about that, and it was like, what? And now we're like, it is just the best being back. And it's where our community is now, and it's where our businesses can really thrive. And we can't believe this, but I was so tuned in and manifesting and meditating with my higher self for so long there and with the veil being so thin. And now I'm like, shit, I'm her now, but I'm in dry Fort Collins. And I thought I had to be my ocean mermaid self there, but I just had to bring her back here. It was very fascinating.
Yeah, there's something very special about this place.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to be back. But yeah. Okay, do you want me to dive into you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll probably just be quiet for a quick second. I'll just kind of get set up and then I'll just set my little timer for 8 minutes and I'll just look at your chakras and then we'll play with cards afterwards. Sound
Sounds
good?
amazing. Thank you, Cara, for doing this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna stare at your name. Let's see.
I can feel you feeling me.
Uh-oh.
I can. I'm like
Gonna
I'm
have to
buzzing
fill
right
you.
now. I'm buzzing. My hands are going. I'm like,
I'm
she's
coming
yeah,
in.
it's pretty awesome.
Wow, I've never had anyone say that. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
My little tentacles. Okay,
You're tuning
so
into me, tuning into you, tuning into me.
yeah, all these
It's a
sweet little
lovely thing.
bouncy balls. So you're showing me three chakras. So the first three that you're really showing me is your third eye, your throat, and your heart. And so I'm just going to look at your heart. And so your heart is just kind of showing me it's just divided between it's like open and then like half open. And then it's like, yeah, how common that is, of course, for all of us for all different reasons. But it looks like um you are really ready and willing to kind of release the half block and that is feels like there's also like a cord in your back. You've probably done cord removals.
I've done many, many,
Yeah.
but they grow back.
Yeah,
You
of
gotta
course.
do it again.
Course they do, of course they do. So it's really, I
Yes.
don't know if you feel any pain in your shoulder blades, but it's just really behind your back. So I would recommend to do that. And it's like for you, it just really feels like sound. It's like all these really deep breaths really want to come through to help you remove this cord. And it's just kind of showing me the color that really wants to be removed. Is this like dark, it kind of looks like a big block, but it's just this dark, heavy green. So like you know the power of like seeing things and how you can help it move more. But I just kind of see you doing the cord removal, calling in that violet flame, and then just really using your breath, like big breathing sounds, just to help move out this block. And then what wants to come forward in that is this bright yellow. So then this bright yellow really wants to come forward, and that wants to then kind of like move all through your whole heart. And it wants to just bring in this healing salve, and then just like this affirmation wants to come through. It's kind of like, did you ever play with Care Bears as a kid?
I did. I had Sunshine Bear.
I know you did, because I was just saying you're showing me Sunshine Bear, and that's why this yellow wanted to come, and your inner child just came
My
through and was
yellow
like,
Care Bear. I love
yeah,
that little
your
guy.
inner child was like, it is safe for me to be bright.
My gosh. I
Oh,
need to shop online immediately.
you have to get one. I'll show you my hat. I have a Care Bear hat that a girlfriend got me. So yeah, I think it would be
Love
phenomenal
that. Gosh.
hat. I can see you like
She had a
wearing.
rainbow, like a rainbow on her chest.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like for you, especially when you're in your work, with all the different work that you do, for you to tune into her and see that yellow sunshine heart beaming through your heart, and for you just to be in that affirmation, all these little leg shivers, be in that affirmation of it is like to your inner child. I just saw the number 8. So I don't know. It feels like your 8-year-old self is really coming through, 8 and 14, 16, 14, 8 and 14, and that she's just really saying of like, oh my god, okay, it is safe, like I'm really being big, like you're being big, you're stepping into new landscapes, and you're really opening up to even more wealth and prosperity. And so she's kind of getting triggered, and so but she's also bringing you forward of just like, and I get to kind of stand here in my heart, but in front of me is my Care Bear, and I want to hide behind her, but it's like this is what I want to project. But so for you to kind of also merge and tell her of like, you don't have to hide, like you can, but I'm going to be here with you, but I'm going to be in my full bright self and my present adult self. So when you're with clients, I think that'd be so fun for you of just to, before you start with them, to drop in and be in your heart and just let that yellow kind of ooze through your heart and let it spread and do its thing while you're in your conversation and session with them, and especially with your new work. And that it feels like you would also kind of feel like leg energy moving, like shivers kind of moving through your legs, and you being like, oh my god, things are opening up, like I'm making a shift. And now I have even next level words to share with my clients. I have new clarity with my new work of what I want to say to them and how I want to make it even more simple and understanding for them. And it's coming from Sunshine Bear. It's coming from this like
That is so cute. I
this
love that you saw that because I don't know where that bear went. I think I left it at my mom's house when I moved here, and she probably just garbaged it.
she's in your heart. Yeah, you quote unquote, I can't bring it
Gosh,
to you,
I
but
have to
you
find
gotta
that
get
bear
another
again.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like your totem. And it's just really going to just take you to
Awesome.
the next level of where you're wanting to go with your heart and with your throat. Because your heart's so showing up because of how much you're speaking with people with your new work. And so it's like, okay, how do I communicate this? How do I get this across? Like if I'm talking to men, if I'm talking to women, and it's like, oh my God, just keep it freaking simple. How phenomenal is that, spirit? Keep it so simple and keep the inner child. And I love this coming through because this is what was coming through before with us just talking about inner child and manifestation. So this is just you're sinking in, especially with the serious, it could be serious work that you're doing with like finances. And it's like, oh my God, I get to bring in this lightness. I get to bring in this lightness. I get to bring in this inner child. She just thinks everything is just about play. This is just play, but I get to bring in these lightness of play with my words and conversations. And then your third eye comes in because you're a healer and you're intuitive. So you get to blend all of that, but it has, in order for your third eye to really open up, especially with this kind of more boxy, serious, could be work, and kind of energy with society of that, then you start with your heart and you shine that out through your heart and the Care Bear stare. And then you allow that to come up through your intuition, and you'll know intuitively who to speak to, when to take that step, when to push that button. And so it's like not, it doesn't feel correct if you kind of avoid the heart and the throat and go straight up to the third eye. It's like, no, you got to start with the base. You got to start with that sunshine and all that we're saying with that, and then let that come up. And maybe even it's like slightly wear yellow. I don't see you, but it's, your choice. I don't see you wearing like full yellow, but it's like, how can I bring in yellow a little bit, like just playfully, and just be reminded of that? Is it like a bracelet? Is it a necklace? Is it a little vest or jacket or something? But it really wants to come in and just that like giggliness, and it feels like for sure like Care Bear socks, and just bringing that in and just being like, yes, this is so fun. And then I get to go to the ocean, I get to go to the water, and I get to have my little socks and take them off, and just however I can keep being reminded. And for sure, it's like when you reach your financial goal that you want for this month, to kind of bring it into whatever else, but also bring in the Care Bear. It's like, I'm going to get my socks, I'm going to get that doll, I'm going to get that hat, but I'm really going to bring this in and allow my inner child to really hold even more of this new financial level, and to talk to her and let her feel safe to let, because sometimes she kind of wants to bring that down. But it's like, no, we're doing this together, and we're just on this really fun playground of of how we can just make our playground even bigger. And we're doing that financially, and we're doing that with
Love
community.
that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting and amazing that you bring that up because I've been feeling the past 2-3 weeks that I need to need to wear more yellow.
Shit. There you
And
go.
like I'm not even like if you look at my videos from our musical gigs, the
Okay.
past two ones I've worn yellow. I wore yellow to our meeting on the 15th when we all met at the chamber, and
Wow.
I've been wearing more yellow to my networking events, and it's just like I've been just feeling yellow more to stimulate that solar plexus area and to get myself to
Oh,
shine brighter.
yes.
It's just so amazing. You're amazing.
I see you.
That's
I
spot
see you.
on.
I see you. Yeah, that's how we roll. So now let me play with
So
cards.
cool. So cool.
So I feel like a few will fall. There's everything in here. This is tarot, so let's see. Oh my God, you got community, and they're surrounded by freaking yellow.
My wall.
That's what?
I have that poster on my wall.
What? You have this poster on your wall?
I do. I bought that last time I went to Catherine's new moon workshop.
No, on new moon, you bought this, and this is the card that falls for your new moon reading.
You betcha.
Be any more in sync. Okay.
It's so cool.
So let me read to you her little writing. That's insane. Okay. A diverse circle of 9 women sit singing around a blazing fire. Each individual expression contributes to the group harmony. They celebrate and honor the uniqueness, complementing each other and creating dynamic community. Their individual accomplishments bring fulfillment to the whole. Your lessons learned from material gain are now to be shared in community with others. This is the time for wholeness, healing, and enrichment. From individual success comes unity, bringing new vision and goals that enrich the entire community. Holy camole, round of applause.
Applause. Dude, it's talking about our team.
I know.
Our finance team.
Wow.
That's so cool.
So fun.
Thank you so much.
So
I'm gonna go shopping for Care Bears. Like I need her back in my life.
yeah, you got
That
to
was
show it
my
with me.
favorite. I see the 8-year-old self.
Oh, yes.
I had my Care Bear around that age.
You did.
I would sit her on my bed. She'd stay on my bed during the day every day when I left for school and did whatever. I'd put her on my bed
Phenomenal.
with Punky Brewster, my Punky
Yes.
Brewster doll.
Yes.
They were buddies.
My buddies. Oh, yeah, I'll send you a picture of my fuzzy sunshine hat that I got a few months ago from a girlfriend. It's the bomb.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's so incredible. Well, it's such an honor to see you, and thanks for letting me share.
And the message was perfect for what I need right now. So thank you for that reminder that, you know, with the stuckness that I have in my head and
Yeah.
kind of where to shift,
Mhm.
where to
Yep.
pivot. There just
Yeah.
needs to be a small tweak. So I appreciate you clarifying that for me, and
So
I'll get right on that.
get on that
I'll,
horse.
I'll do that better. I'll do that better.
Yeah. Oh, you're right on it. Oh, that's so fun. That's fantastic. I'm
Such a
so
great
glad.
thing. Well, thank you so much. And
Sure.
Cara, you do remote readings
Yeah, yeah, I do
for
live
people all
remote.
over the world, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to connect with you and get a reading done or any do a quick bullet point real quick before we close up on what your offerings are and then how they can find you.
Okay. Well, thank you. So my offerings are I can start with half an hour online. That's intuitive. That's where I look at your soul. I look at the vibration that your soul and higher self is wanting to go and help you align with that. So that can be with your career, your relationship, your home space, maybe some health. So I just love helping you dial in to the vibration of where you're really wanting to be and experience. I do mediumship, so that means communicating with your past loved ones if they can and choose to show up. And then in person in Fort Collins, I start with hour sessions. I also do group events, so that can be in person. I do group readings. It can be, I do channeled meditations. So even just by getting on my newsletter for free, you can then just receive for, a small, sometimes it's like 20 bucks or something, a small fee just to really receive a deep channeled journey for 30 minutes. Usually we go. So I do those sometimes. And then I'm a portrait photographer. And so I capture your essence out in nature. And we do group events for women at our house. And yeah, I just love to love on you. And I can do it remotely or I can do it in person. And I would love to connect. And my website is carafaithintuitive.com. And I do full moon and new moon readings on Facebook. So you can friend me on Facebook, Cara Faith. And then that's $1 and up. You just pay me on Venmo for however much you want for a 10-minute reading, like what I just did for Jill.
Fabulous. All of Cara's information will be in the show notes.
Okay.
So please reach out and experience this amazing gift that you have. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. That was so fun.
Thank you. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, little sunshine bear.
We will see you soon.
That's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for spending the time with me. And don't forget to check the notifications below on my social media links, my YouTube channel with self-care and meditations, as well as my omshantihealing.com website, where you can get info on spiritual coaching and my online courses. And as always, if you do enjoy my podcast, don't forget to subscribe or sponsor below. We'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.